So, remember when Cardi B Coachella performance caused a stir, but not for the reasons she was hoping? Word started going around that her BBL looked a bit off. And pretty soon, social media lit up with jokes and memes, with people claiming it looked botched and even making rude comments about how it might smell. Now, this isn't the first time Cardi's BBL has sparked conversation. It's been a topic of gossip for quite a while. But after Coachella, things exploded online, and Cardi B been trying to fend off the wave of criticism. Fans are now saying she should take legal action against the surgeon who worked on her, claiming he really did her dirty. Honestly, you can't blame them for feeling that way. This could be the start of a major showdown between Cardi B and her cosmetic team. Let's break down the chaos. Cardi B body has been a hot topic on the internet for a while now. To her credit, she's always been upfront about having work done. In fact, plenty of people have praised her for owning it. Her figure has even been considered body goals by many. But here's the thing. Cosmetic procedures can be a slippery slope. Once you start, it's easy to keep going. Lately, some fans are saying the changes might be going too far, and a few are even claiming her look is starting to come off as botched. The drama really hit over Coachella weekend when an unflattering photo of Cardi B began circulating online. The image went viral, and Cardi B tried to shut it down, insisting it had been edited. But here's the catch. The photo came from Getty, and if you know Getty doesn't use filters or retouching. What you see is what you get. Cardi didn't waste any time firing back. She posted a new picture showing herself looking snatched, but fans weren't convinced. They quickly accused her of photoshopping the image to cover up what they're now calling a botched body. Social media ran wild with it, and the timeline got harsh real fast. Of course, Cardi clapped back just as hard. True to form, she didn't hold anything back. She lashed out at her critics, calling them ugly, broke, and irrelevant classic Cardi.
Always, you stupid, weak bitches. It's never the bad. It's never the bad bitch. You know what it is? It's never the bad bitch, and it's never the trans bitch. The cunt trans always fuck. The bad fucks with it. The money fuck. It's always you bad bill, angry, jealous, and it's always you funky, ugly country butch queens that don't got no style. Cause the butch queens that get it. But the poor ones always talking.
These days, getting plastic surgery is almost like a rite of passage in Hollywood. Tons of celebs have had something done, whether it's subtle or more noticeable, but you'd never know it based on what they claim. Most of them act like their transformation came from some magical contouring trick, a clean eating kick, or suddenly going vegan, as if that alone can cinch a waist or completely transform a face. Not naming names, but let's be honest, some of these so-called glow-ups owe way more to the operating room than to spinach smoothies and Pilates classes. Cardi B, though, she's in a lane of her own. Unlike most stars who pretend their looks just evolved, Cardi's kept it real from day one. She's admitted to having procedures, spoken openly about her cosmetic surgeries, and even warned fans to seriously think things through before making the decision themselves. But lately, the tone around her has started to shift. Some fans are noticing that her appearance keeps changing, and not always for the better. There's more and more talk that all the nips, tucks, and tweaks might be catching up to her, and people are starting to wonder if she's taken it too far this time. Cardi doesn't really address it much anymore, but if you followed her from early on, you know her plastic surgery story runs much deeper than just wanting to look good for Instagram. A lot of it goes back to her upbringing and the beauty standards she grew up around. In her world, having curves wasn't just attractive, it was the ultimate standard. Big hips, a full chest, a tiny waist, that classic hourglass shape was everything. And Cardi didn't naturally have that. She's talked about being really skinny as a kid, and in the environment she came from, that wasn't seen as beautiful. Most of the girls around her had curves, and she didn't, which made her feel out of place. People would make comments, tease her, and over time, it chipped away at her confidence. Instead of brushing it off, those experiences stuck with her and made her feel like something was wrong with the way she looked, that she needed to change to feel accepted or attractive.
When you come, it really also depends on your nationalities. Like when you come from nationalities that like, they praise the girls, that they praise ass, they praise thighs, they praise all of that. Like You know what I'm saying? It's like it's hard to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk around my flat. No, some of y'all happy with it, and that's great, but that just wasn't me when I was young.
Things really shifted when Cardi entered the world of stripping, but it wasn't the instant confidence boost that people often imagine. In fact, at first, it actually made her insecurities even worse. She was still very slim, and in that industry, curves weren't just admired, they were a serious source of income. The more curvaceous you were, the more attention you got, and with that came more money. At that point, Cardi didn't have what was considered the ideal body for the club scene, and it left her feeling discouraged all over again. That feeling became a major motivator for change. By the time she turned 18, she had saved enough money to get her breasts done, her very first cosmetic procedure. That surgery gave her a lift both physically and emotionally. For once, she felt like she was beginning to resemble the image she had always envisioned for herself. But as we've said, cosmetic surgery is a slippery slope. It's rarely a one-and-done situation. There's maintenance, follow-ups, and the constant temptation to tweak just one more thing. Before long, it can become a never-ending cycle. For someone like Cardi, who had struggled with body image for years, that first procedure opened the door to a much larger transformation. Once she experienced what it was like to change a part of herself she'd always been insecure about, the thought of fixing more things didn't just seem possible, it became alluring. The breast augmentation definitely gave her a confidence boost, but it still wasn't enough to fully compete in the club. The reality was, curves made cash, and while she now had a fuller chest, she still lacked the one feature that truly brought in the big money: a bigger butt. So even though her self-esteem was improving, her bank account didn't reflect that same glow-up. Other dancers with more curves were out-earning her night after night. That's when she made the decision to enhance her body further this time, focusing on her backside.
When I was a dancer and everything, like, I had the titties, I had the bomb-ass tattoos, I had a six-packs, I could do split, everything, but, not split, but I could do crazy pole tricks, all that shit. But I was missing some ass, and,
But this is where things started to take a dangerous turn. Cardi was just 20 years old, living in New York City, and didn't exactly have the kind of money needed for a licensed, board-certified plastic surgeon. To make matters more complicated, she was still very petite at the time and didn't have enough body fat for a traditional BBL, the type that involves transferring fat from your own body to your butt. Instead of waiting or saving up for a safer option, Cardi went down a riskier path. She ended up paying $800 to a woman named Donna Francis for illegal silicone injections in her butt and thighs. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Donna Francis eventually made headlines across the country, and not in a good way. One of her clients tragically died following a botched procedure, turning Francis's underground cosmetic business into a full-blown criminal case. She was later arrested and sentenced to prison for performing unauthorized medical procedures. Fortunately, Cardi was one of the few who walked away without severe health complications, but that doesn't mean her experience was easy. In an interview with GQ, she opened up about the intense and painful aftermath. While she didn't face any life-threatening issues, the side effects were far from minor. She said, "They don't numb your butt with anything. It was the craziest pain ever. I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt a little dizzy, and it leaks for like 5 days." After those first procedures, Cardi hit pause for a while. She had finally reached the body image she'd been chasing for years and didn't feel an urgent need to keep going under the knife, at least not right away. But fast forward to 2019, after the birth of her daughter, Culture, and the journey took another turn. Like many new moms, Cardi was trying to come to terms with how pregnancy had changed her body, so she decided to have more work done, this time opting for another breast enhancement and some liposuction to shed the baby weight. However, the recovery process didn't go as planned. Instead of resting and letting her body heal properly, Cardi jumped straight back into her demanding schedule of shows, events, and performances. Eventually, her body started to push back hard. Her feet became so swollen from the surgery that she posted a photo online, and let's just say it wasn't received well.